for us to really hang out here for a minute and think, okay, how is retail different now in the, this new world that we're working through? And then secondly, why is holiday retail different? And why is it so important? And so I really want us to really bounce those ideas around. Hi, Denise, welcome. Glad to have you. Cheers. And so let's dig into that a little bit, right? The first thing I want us to really consider, guys, is anytime we're working into or through a new set of challenges, I really want us to focus on this goal setting process. And here's the reason why. As you guys know me by now, everything stems from the why, right? And so when we talk about holiday specifically, and goal setting in relation to holiday, like whether it's a personal goal as a stylist with their guests, or it's a team goal that the salon has in place, I really want us to really break it down into this process. And here's the reason why behind that. The most effective way to not only hit our goals but surpass them is to put a process in place on how those goals are actively achieved. And what I know specifically for myself is that I need to know what that target goal is, the long term, the overall objective, right? And for me, it is creating a scenario within salons where take home is just the normal, not the abnormal, right? It's abnormal for guests to not take products home with them following their service at whatever time of year it is. And so if that's my overall target goal, is creating a certain level of average take home, and I like to focus it on per guest, right? And not a dollar amount, but more a unit amount or a product amount. So we have very specific targets within the Surface family, right? And once you get past the 2.5 years of being a service provider in your space, whether it's an esthetician, a makeup artist, massage therapist, nails, you name it, right? Anything in this beauty industry, the overall objective is what is the average units or products per guest that leave with them following their service? And in the Surface world, we really hover right around that 2 units per guest, 1.5 or 1.5 units to 2 units per guest. And here's why that number sits there. It is in our best interest that we relate our entire service and the communication that happens within it to that specific goal. Meaning everything we do in our service should relate to how that guest is going to repeat that look tomorrow, the next day, right? Because what I want a lot of us to consider right now is once our guests leave our chair or table or place of business, who is the one that is serving them for the next 4 to 6 to 8 to 12 weeks if it's a balayage guest, right? Who's serving them? How are they being served? Or who's taking care of their look? And we all know the answer, right? It's them. And so what that 2 units per guest really says to all of us is that we have had a great enough conversation and partnership during that service that those products are most likely to follow them home because they need them to achieve that look. So if I know what my target goal is, guys, and then I break it down to a shorter term goal, right? So my target goal for the year is I want to make sure that we average 2 units or 1.5 units per guest on our retail or take home part of our services. So now I have to break that down to a short-term goal, right? Closer. I want that number to get smaller so that I can focus more intentively on that number. So that short-term goal becomes, okay, well, how many guests do I have and how many products is that per month? And so being able to really understand what our short-term goal is, and then friends, ultimately being able to take it all the way down to what can I do right now? What is my goal for right now? Meaning, who is that person that I'm serving at this moment? And what is my objective for them? My objective is to have a conversation and an experience that is good enough, that is dynamic enough for them to decide that those products that we use to create that look today need to come home with them in order to facilitate that same look later. So how do I do that, right? How do I do that? So when we're talking about holidays specifically, guys, it is the change of mindset, okay? If you have the ability to change your mindset, you have the ability to change your whole world. And what I mean by that is there's two groups of thought right now, right? There is, okay, I'm in COVID. COVID has challenged me. It's made retail or take home much more difficult than it was in the past. And so that's where I'm going to spend my time. That's where I'm going to allow my mindset to stay. I would love for us to have a growth mindset. And the growth mindset says, here I am. This is my current situation. How do I grow and improve? What can I do right now to make that change for me, right? Once you have that ability to switch that on in your mindset, now whatever comes your way, you have the ability to adjust and overcome it. And so I want us to have this mindset of growth and thinking, okay, because of COVID, holiday and take home in general is that much more important this year, right? It's the mindset of saying, okay, because of this scenario, I have the opportunity to serve at an even higher level. I have the opportunity to be more focused in how I serve. Because I don't know about you guys, I've been in salons and spas and you know, all sorts of businesses in our beauty industry, holiday after holiday after holiday, right? And we tend to get stuck in this funk where it's like, oh, it's busy and there's so many people and we have to do this. And I'm just trying to get all my guests through in and through the door. You know, all those things are extremely valid. I know, right? But here's where our mindset has to change. And that is, what can I do right now to make sure that this holiday, this time of year, people come into my space and feel like they have all the things that they need to feel and look like their best version of themselves. That's the shift in the mindset, right? And so when we look at holiday, like surf holiday for specifically this year, right? The number one why behind holiday take home, in my opinion, is this right here, friends. Your profitability. Okay, so write this down. Number one, holiday this year, your profitability plus the needs of your guests, the additional needs of your guests, and their desires all merge together during this time, right? Is it different than at other times of the year? You could say so. Why? Because you have the most amount of guests, right? In the shortest time period, and you're really trying to get them in and out of the door. But here's what really happens. You get the opportunity to serve them and to serve them well beyond the service that you have that day, okay? And that's what I want you to really consider. Like, holiday take home or take home in general has the unique ability to help extend your services. So whatever you're working on, like as a target with you and your guest, a certain look, a certain way that the hair moves or operates, or maybe it's skincare, right? You're combating a specific challenge. You have the real opportunity during holiday to meet profitability, an increased need, because now, guys, when you think about holiday needs, it's typically a guest comes into the space, right, to your salon, to your business, to your nail table, and they have a very specific need, and it's for them. It's their needs, right? Is everybody with me on that? Like, it's their specific need. But holiday comes around, and all of a sudden, there's needs for a whole bunch of other people, isn't there? It's like, okay, what am I going to get my great Aunt Judy? I got to find something for my great Aunt Judy. Okay, so there's a specific need. And now if your guests are anything like me, they tend to wait until the very last moment of time possible, like Christmas Eve, before they fill the need of great Aunt Judy, right? So you have the incredible opportunity to remind them and to ease their pressure, ease their burden, and also get something free, right? Who doesn't like that word, right? Free. Well, I prefer the word complimentary, to be honest, but when it comes to goods, products, anytime you can buy something and get something for no charge, we're winning, right? And so ultimately, that's what we're looking for, the win. And I want you to consider this. When you think about holiday retail or holiday take home, who's winning there, right? Oh, well, I'm just so busy at this time of year. I just really can't focus on that. I just really get the services. And to me, it's about getting the services in. I love that. I do. But I want you to slow down for a minute, specifically this year. I want you to slow down and say, is my process allowing that win that you see there on the screen to meet everyone's needs, right? How am I winning? How are the people around me winning? How are the guests and the friends, the family, the significant others of my guests winning? And can I be a part of all of that? I think so, right? I think so. And so I really want you to shift your mindset behind promotions and strategy within holiday to be more inclusive to the whole scenario. And that means, where's the profitability coming? Well, ultimately that's for me, right? And what do we know about take home, friends? If take home is done effectively, it can be the most profitable area of our whole business. So if our area of focus is lacking in the way we speak to guest needs during the holiday season, we have opportunity to grow. And that's all I'm looking for, right? That's all I'm looking for all of us for. Opportunity to be better at what we already do well, or opportunity to move forward and to change something, change our mindset, change our processes in our business so that we win. So I hope everybody was with me on this process. Now, what I want to do real quick is I want to ask, is there or are there any questions or thoughts specifically, and you can unmute yourself if you'd like, or you can write them in the chat box in regards to holiday, things that you're doing or ideas or questions that you have specifically around holiday and take home, that mindset that we can discuss before we move on. Anybody? Otherwise, we'll keep on rolling. And remember, guys, I'll always come back to the chat box. So if you think of something as we continue to move forward, please don't hesitate, okay? So now, friends, I want to talk about the VIP experience in this new world, right? What does that look like? Well, to me, that looks like being able to take our guest experience, right, which is now changing. How many of us have seen the guest experience change based on the fact that we can't bring them into the waiting room, they can't sit and relax and drink coffee, right? How many salons focus a big part of their guest experience on the coffee that they deliver or the drinks that they deliver, right? That extra added experience within their process that we can't really do anymore, right? I mean, how do you drink coffee straight through your mask? It's difficult. I've tried it. It doesn't work well. I mean, you should have seen me, guys. I was covered. I left it on by accident and tried to take a sip. It's not good. But here's the deal, friends. We're meeting this experience, right? And we want this experience to be excellent. And so we also know that we have a new world that we're living in, right? So what does an extraordinary experience look like in our new world? The way we're currently being asked or being forced to operate, we're still serving our guests, right? Can we serve more than one at a time now per stylist? In my area, the answer is no. You cannot double book. You cannot have guests that close to each other. And so what do you have to do? You have to serve one person at a time. So this experience and the profitability around the experience for us has changed, hasn't it? So what does it look like now to have a VIP experience in this new world? And that's where it really comes to my mind, friends, is I'd like you to really consider the treatments that you offer to guests on your service menu now. And I would like you to consider what they might need to look like moving forward. So ask yourself this question. Do you currently have time with your guests to add on services or upserve your guests based on a new need or a new established communication? Meaning, I didn't know that I needed that until you talked to me about it, right? So now I know that my hair is telling you, my stylist, or my skin is telling you, my esthetician, that it needs something that I wasn't aware of. So now that I'm aware of it, how do I get it? And do I have time to do it today, or do I have to book this onto my next service? And so I want you to ask yourself, what does your process look like for establishing needs that are new and fulfilling those needs, treatments specifically, during your services? So a couple of things we have to consider, right? What if we were able to establish the need for this service before our guests actually came into the salon and sat in the chair, right? And how would you do that? Here's my advice. Here's my suggestion. It's probably more of a suggestion than advice. I want you to consider what it would look like for at least a small percentage of your guests to start to have small FaceTime or Instagram Messenger or Zoom chat or whatever device and system you use to have virtual consultations prior to them coming into the space, so that you can get a great look at what their hair looks like. You can ask some very specific questions of them on how you can serve them better now, and then be able to establish which service, add-on service or up service they need, and which one you have the ability and the time and the resources to provide. Is that for this service now, or is this for a future service? Okay, so again, mindset is, what do I need to shift or change in order to create a VIP experience in our new world? I don't want this experience to be okay. I want it to be excellent. So what am I offering and how am I offering it? Does my Facebook and my Instagram speak to my guests on what I'm able to offer them in a treatment or up service opportunity? We also have a brilliant opportunity, friends, right now during this whole COVID mess to be rewriting and revamping our service menus in general. Are they speaking to guests? Do they understand or feel what that service might look like and might be able to offer them? You know, if you're just saying you have a treatment, right? We offer 3 different treatments at the salon. One's for moisture, one's for volume, one's for like scalp issues. Ooh, those sound really nice. I'd like to have one of those, please. I want us to really slow down amongst all this chaos. Slow down and take a look at our menu. What does it say? Does it say, ooh, that's me? Like this menu, this one itself. It says some great things, right? The one that you're seeing on the screen, but it can even be better, right? What an opportunity I have right now, we have right now, to be able to look at this menu of up service opportunities and ask ourselves, what's my process for sharing this? And if I share it via social media or in my space, does it make people say, yes, please? Or does it make people say, oh yeah, okay, so is that the same one that you had last year or like the last 7 years? Well, kind of. Okay. Yeah, no, I think I've had that one time and it was okay. We need to really consider the opportunity to VIP experience at a higher level and how are we doing that? So I want to recap there for a second, right? The opportunity that we have is to pay attention. See, we're paying attention. I'm sorry, guys, I went too fast there for myself. So let me backtrack if you don't mind. The opportunity that we have is, yes, to pay attention to what it is we're saying, how we're saying it, and does it need a refresher to speak differently to our guests and to give ourselves the opportunity to create more value per service because we have more time. See, a lot of people are like, Sean, I don't know how I'm going to make up the money that I'm missing because I can't serve as many guests. Well, I can think of a lot of ways. You know, sometimes I want us to consider a statement, right? How much more do I need in order to get more? Or can I get more with less, from less? What does that look like? So I'm going to shift a little bit. I'm going to cover number 3 here, and then, you know, we'll be able to come back again and reconsider some of our VIP experiences, guys. I want to know some of the things that you're considering and doing during this time of year to really add value, right? So number 3, guys, pricing and services. How are we adjusting to the change? This kind of goes hand in hand with the last point that we were making there. And it really is, you know, when you consider price increases or service upcharges or, you know, COVID fees or things of that sort that really kind of wrap themselves around us at this time of year, right? How is our business doing during these challenges? Is it going well, or are we trying to recover cost, right? Are we trying to recover lost revenue? And the thing I really want you to consider is you have an opportunity now to consider your pricing and your services and think, okay, if I'm adding more value to my experiences, to my existing services, and I can rewrite my menu and make it look refreshed and exciting and really consider the verbiage that I'm using, that can also give me the opportunity to adjust any pricing challenges that I have. I want you to think of your favorite restaurant, right? You move it, you go into your favorite restaurant, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, look at this. They've got a new menu. Huh. Wow, look at, they've got new entrees. Very nice. Oh, yep, they still have my favorite entree. I'm excited about that. But what's this new one? That sounds really good. What we know has happened, right, is based on what the business is telling that restaurant in terms of table turns. How often the tables are turning, it gives that business the opportunity to then raise its prices based on demand. And so the demand is asking or telling the business it's time to raise the prices. And the best way to raise your prices is to add more value. And you can add more value by changing your menu, updating your menu, adding new experiences, new meals. And so here's the cool part though. As this slide says, pay attention to who you're with when you feel your best. When you're considering pricing and servicing changes or updates, adjustments, I want you to do so in accordance with what's going to make you a better version of yourself, right? So what are the services I love to perform? What are the services our business tends to perform the most and have the highest demand? Those are the services we're going to do our best on and also provide the best experiences with. So pay attention to what you feel like providing those services. And those are the services that you should look to add and adjust in terms of value, right? It's okay if your prices go up. Hear me correctly, friends. It's okay if your prices go up, as long as the value of that service does as well. We have a great opportunity to take a look at the menus that we have, the services we provide, the experiences we develop, and upgrade them, make them better, and you can charge accordingly. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a problem paying an extra $1 or $2 for a hamburger if the hamburger got better and the fries got better and the add-on goodies that I can adjust with it got better, or maybe the service from the staff got better. I'm okay paying the price difference, especially if I already love it. But if that waiter or waitress comes up to me and tells me there's been a price increase and the burger really hasn't changed and, you know, nothing really has, now I'm like, so why did you raise the prices? When you're considering service charges or add-on expenses that have happened to you during this challenging time, it's okay to consider adjusting your services and prices accordingly. You just need to make sure that the value increases as well. I hope we're all on the same page as that. I want you to think about it this way. Sometimes, friends, less is more, right? Sometimes having less guests that you can serve better and that you have the opportunity to sit down next to and have a really great conversation with and ask them better questions about their hair, about their skin, about their nails. Ask them better questions about what's coming up in the next 3 to 6 months that they want to look and feel their best for. Less can be more, friends. It gives you more time to really pour into those guests. And I don't know about you, if I'm sitting in the chair or at the table of one of my favorite service providers, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm the only thing that matters to them for the next hour, I think that's worth its weight in gold, right? It is a new world that we're living in, right? We're being asked to do different things. We're being asked to adjust our business, and we can either focus on all the changes and how they've impacted us in potentially a negative way, or we can wrap our mindset around being asked or forced to consider change. And if you ask me, we always grow. We always grow during times of change if we allow ourselves to. What I really want us to really consider at this time when we're talking about all these additions or statements we've made so far today is, what does your process in your business look like in order to serve these people better? And so one thing that I can really ask you to consider is, if you're finding yourself with more time per guest because you have less guests, it's a really great opportunity for us to focus on how we involve that guest in the experience, how we involve that guest in the service that we're performing. And then most importantly, friends, please hear me on this. I will not go away on this right now. This is the best time in the last 10 years based on my perception, for us to slow down and coach our guests on how to recreate their look tomorrow, the next day, when they are not with us. It is the best time for us to slow down and put that curling iron in our guest hands, to have them put the product, the new skincare regimen in their hands and apply it. It is the best time for us to be able to coach our guests to look and feel the best that they have looked or felt. And I don't know about you guys, but that's a breath of fresh air. You know, I go into salons and spas and nail places and skincare specialty places all across North America. And I haven't been able to do so now in quite some time, right? And one of the things that I am just desperately hoping for, friends, is the visual and the atmosphere of a slower paced, more focused attention to the needs and the desires of that specific guest, as opposed to always looking at the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. Now, you may be one that absolutely loves more guests. Let's go, let's go. The more I see in a day, the better, the better, the better. If you are able to serve them at your highest level, and from the first guest to the last guest, you are able to give them everything you have, and you are creating an experience that they absolutely love, then by all means, keep going. Don't stop. But if you do have any thoughts on how can I adjust my processes within my business in order to create a better environment, you know, within our guests' experience and within our space, I would say now's the time, friends. Let's get after it. Number 4, guys. And again, I'm going through these kind of quickly, and we're gonna kind of come back and revisit them. But I really want to have some discussion along the way too, friends. Right now, I hear myself talking a lot, and that is just a little too much for everyone, if you ask me. But let's discuss this real quick. And you know, really, when I'm addressing you today specifically on social media, and how we're utilizing it today, now specifically, what I want us to really wrap our brains around is how have we used this increased need for social media to share our messages, our processes, our culture better with our guests. So I want you to think about your social media. I want you to take a look at it, and I want you to ask yourself, is my social media intimidating to me? Have I allowed it to challenge me? You know, have I allowed it to kind of cause fear or doubt? Or, you know, is it really just a tool for me to be able to scroll? You know, and again, to each their own, and everybody's in a different space and place. I understand that, but I really want us to think about making social media easier for ourselves and making it more effective for the guests that we serve. What's the message that we're actually sharing, right? So when you think about yourself, you know, how are you using social media to share your message? You know, how are you posting? What are you posting? You know, honestly, I love to see what you guys are cooking, and I love to see what your dogs are doing. And I love to see what field trip you're going on next. I think all these things are great. It's who you are. It's part of who you are. But what I also want to know is what's happening in your business. Is it good? You know, what should I be expecting? What should I maybe get excited about? I know a lot of stuff is going on, but I'm not seeing it. And for a lot of you, right, a lot of our guests, the only time they get to see what's going on in your business is when they visit your business. So what I'm asking you to do is to look at social media as a tool. I want you to have a vision, a very specific vision for what your social media is intended to do for you, number one. And then what is that specific vision or mission for social media intended to do for your business? And then take a look at it, right? Now step away from your social media and then step back into it and say, okay, if I open it up, what do I know about my business over the last 3 posts? And if you can't answer that question, we need to just adjust the information that we're sharing so that it speaks to the people who are visiting, right? Social media has a very direct impact, friends, on the sales of your product and your services within your business, a profound effect. And let me share this with you. Since COVID, it has increased the effects on your business from a sales standpoint to a whole new level. People are visiting social media for the businesses that they shop at a much higher level. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't even been to Costco to get groceries in almost 9 months. They just bring them to me now, right? And how do I do that? I go online, I'm like, I want eggs, I want orange juice, I want ranch dressing, I want chips, I want all these things. And all of a sudden, they show up with boxes full at my front door, and I don't have to get in the car and drive 45 minutes to go see Costco. I don't have to wait in the line. I don't have to clean my cart. I don't have to adjust my mask. I don't have to do any of those things. So this is also happening within your businesses, friends, right? Your guests are coming less often. And so how do we attract them to come more often, one, or how do we attract them to consider what I'm offering in my business more often? Do you have very specific targets on what your social media is going to do for you? And listen, keep it simple, right? Anybody else want to keep things simple these days? Good Lord, right? Sign me up and bring me the t-shirt. Simple. This is the deal though. You got to look at it from a quarterly basis at minimum, right? What is the major focus within my business over the next 3 months? And then how, that's the shorter term goal, right? Overall, we need social media to improve in our businesses. That's my target goal, my long-term objective. Now, my short-term goal is every 3 months, I have to have a major focus for my business every 3 months. And then if you can handle it, you have a major focus within those 3 months additionally, right? So one thing at a time. So what is my business saying to my guests today? That's what I can do right now, right? I can hop on my Facebook right now and say, hey guys, listen, I can't wait for you to see my new menu. Check it out now. Boom, share it right there on your social media. Or I can't wait for you to see my holiday promotions. Check them out right now. Boom, share. Does it have to be like 100 different things? No, that's not for you. That's for somebody else, right? Start small, get good at the process so that you know every month I have got something significant that I can share with my people so that they know what's going on, right? So guys, these are the 4 things we've really kind of discussed in quickly, right? What I want to know now from you guys is which place out of these 4 or which additional direction can I take us for a few minutes today to really discuss some of these things, right? I've said a lot. I'm asking you to consider a lot. And so I know I want you to really slow it down and say, okay, for me, I need to focus on one thing at a time, the whole premise behind what we're talking about today. So which one of these areas would you guys like me to dig into a little bit more and give me some feedback or thoughts on what either you, if you're a sales consultant, are hearing from your salons that we can address, or if you're an actual service provider, what your guests are saying or feeling or you're seeing that we need to maybe have a little bit of a conversation about. So feel free to either take yourself off mute, or if you want to just raise your hand or / write it in the chat box, and I'd love to be able to chat with you on it. So anybody who's going to be the first brave soul to give me something to support you guys with? Nobody?
Hi, Sean.
Hey, how are you, Kim?
I'm good.
Good.
So I'm getting a little pushback from some of my salons on the new blowout products as far as the price goes.
Okay.
They're a little concerned with the price.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering what you would say to justify pricing it at $40.
Perfect. Great question. So, Kim, will you participate with me? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, so let's just pretend like it's you and me right now, right? So I'm offering you Blowout, okay? New Blowout, new and improved, brand new innovation. It's Blowout. It's fantastic. You're gonna love it. It costs you, the guest, right? $40. Whoa. First question you might ask me, Kim, is why is it $40, right?
Why is
Now,
it $40, Sean?
yeah, why is it $40? Well, let me ask you, Kim, why do you feel it might be $40? Like, what
Well,
do you think contributes to that?
I would have to say the ingredients, the fact that it's gonna make your blowout last quite a bit longer.
Okay, that's great, right? Let's just stop right there. So one thing that to consider right away is, yes, okay, why would this product cost a guest $40, right? Again, that's a suggested retail, right? So you don't have to charge $40 for this product. However, the suggested retail is $40, and it is because of a number of factors. Number one being the ingredient base, friends. So when you consider Blowout specifically, you know what, guys? I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'll pull Blowout up for you guys. Does that sound like a good idea? Kim, is that a good idea for now?
Sounds good.
Okay. So let me pull Blowout up for you guys so that you can at least see what it is. So I got to go back to my screen share. I'm going to go to, well, let me do this first, guys. I'm going to go find it for you. There we go. Can you guys still see my screen or not yet?
No.
Okay. I am bringing it up for you here real quick. Okay, let me share this for you guys. Where'd you guys go? There you are. Okay, here it comes, friends. The anticipation, I know, is killing you. All right, technology these days, right, friends? Okay, so Blowout, guys. Kim, it's really is such a great question, and I want all of us to be aware. The primary objective is to understand, right? And so what Blowout is in a nutshell is it's a system, okay? It is a system for a beautiful, faster, longer lasting blowout. So in a nutshell, that's what you're really sharing with people, right? Blowout is designed to be a system for a beautiful, faster, longer lasting blowout. Now, you might need to dig in a little bit further, right? So this slide talks about a specific product, and that is the primer. But what I want to get to here for you guys is, what does it do? Okay, because that's the ultimate, right? Anytime we have product in the salon, in the space that we want to share with guests, and we're talking about holiday and we're talking about take home today. And so specifically with holiday and take home, what does it do that people would want it or need it? Well, blowouts in general, right? They are looking to seal in moisture, to add volume and shine, to reduce blow dry time, to protect, right? Heat protect, and ultimately to provide a longer lasting blowout. Here's the deal with blowout, surface blowout specifically. It's the combination, to make it easy for you guys, it's the combination of cannabis sativa seed oil, babassu oil, and all of the new ingredients, which is maracuja oil and lychee berry. The combination of those ingredients are what give us the ability to have omega-3s, 6s, and 9s in a perfect combination. Great, Sean, that's great. Omegas, 3s, 6s, and 9s. What do they have to do with the blowout? They provide the moisture and the occlusive moisture deep into the cortex, all the way out to the cuticle, that allows your hair to have heat style memory for double its normal time. So if you have a blowout that usually lasts you 2 or 3 days, you are looking at 4, 5, 6 days of blowout based on utilizing these ingredients. So to answer your question in a shorter version, Kim, it's really understanding the ingredient base, the cost of those raw ingredients to be able to bring them to that system. That really makes the difference in the overall cost. Now, what I would want people to know is that the blowout system will last you quite a long time if you're using it effectively, okay? So the shampoo and the conditioner, which just launched, and these 3 products that you see on the screen here, the combination of those as a system in conjunction with the rest of your styling products and other shampoos and conditioners allow this to last a long time, giving the value of the ingredient base, the way that it works, and the addition of the other styling products to be well worth the investment. How did I do?
Great, as always.
Well, I just want to make sure everybody feels like they can understand what makes that happen, right? As you guys know, within the Surface family, honestly, if we were another manufacturer, blowout would probably cost even more. And that is because of the raw ingredients in a nutshell that make it so much, that provides so much value throughout the experience, and then also, you know, for an extended period of time. So yeah, I hope that was good.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys, on the blowout system or anything else that I can address for you? Again, you know, my objective for our time together today is to go through those 4 items, right? But really apply that to anything within our business. So if it makes sense, I'm going to stop sharing the blowout stuff real quick. And then I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint, if you don't mind, friends. And we will continue to take a look at it. I'm going to leave it in this mode so that we can scroll on it. Can everybody see it? Kim, can we see it? You were helpful last time. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So guys, number 1, the why behind holiday take home. I think we're all, you know, in a similar understanding on sharing that now. So I want to hear from some of you. You know, what do you hear from your guests? What do you hear from your salons on their major focuses during the holiday season? So I'm kind of talking about, you know, all of October, November, December, those last 3 months as we get through Halloween, we get through Thanksgiving, we get through Christmas and all that stuff, guys. You know, we tend to see our guests much more often during this time of year, at least we have in the past. And so when you're considering your holiday offerings, when you're considering what options your guests have to take home with them, not only for themselves now, but really for anyone they can think of, right? Where do they find the most value? And here's what I want you to consider. I'm going to ask somebody else to play along with me. Brandon, would you be willing to play along with me, friend? I know you're on your iPhone. I know you may be busy, but if possible, would you be willing to play along with me?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Awesome. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing great. Great.
Fantastic. So here's what I want to ask you, friend. Tell me, which one of your friends or family members, from a gift perspective, do not get unbelievably excited when you present them with hair care goods?
Oh my God. I couldn't tell you that there's a single one of them that doesn't get excited. You know, like I'm probably going to pick up the Violet shampoo and conditioner gift set, the holiday gift set. One of the best ways to sell that right now is because we're buying the 2 and then you get something for free. Who doesn't love something for free? And this year, the gift sets are phenomenal. Like we've all talked about that in the salon, that how fantastic these gift sets have become because of the freebie that's in there. that's an
Yeah.
even, like, it's a shoo-in. They love it. That blowout system is fantastic.
Oh man, well, thank you, Brandon. And yes, you hit the nail on the head, guys. Think about it. Here's an example I want to give you. Okay, often I get asked, or our salon, Meraki Salon, gets asked to participate in raffles. Right? Raffles. Anybody get asked for raffle stuff all the time? Right? Here's the deal, though. We got asked a couple of times with these major golf outings, huge golf outings, with these massive raffles and what do they call them, auctions and all that kind of stuff. And I can't tell you how many times, friends, the biggest auction battle that happens at these golf outings is over the hair care gift boxes or baskets, right? You got a shampoo, you got a brush, you got a hairspray, you got a gel in there, you got some sort of shave cream, you got another styling product. And I'm telling you what, these husbands in most cases, or significant others, or whatever else is, they're all throwing in their tickets for this hair care gift basket. Why? Tell me why they get so excited about that. Well, I'll tell you why I think they do. Because they know the value. Ultimately, they know the value of a hair care gift basket, right? They're like, oh my gosh, think about what if I bring this home to my wife, or I bring this home to my girlfriend, or I bring this home to my partner, my significant other, they are going to flip. They're going to be so excited. Well, you're right. But that's all the time, you guys. So I want you to really think, what's your objective and what's your process in asking your guests what their friends and family and gift giving people would be excited about? And then do you have that available for them? See, here's the other thing I recognize often in salons during the holiday season. They're so busy doing services that they forget on serving their guests after they leave. In my opinion, guys, the take home and retail offerings and gift offerings within your salon are just as important to your guests as the services you provide during the season. And this is why. It's because it serves other people than just themselves, right? I go into the salon, I get a service. It's about me. Oh my gosh, my hair feels great. It looks great. But if my stylist takes the time, my service provider takes the time to say, hey, how's holiday shopping going for you? Oh my gosh, are you talking about Christmas? I haven't even started. Okay, well, like, do you want to get started? I mean, wouldn't it be nice to be a little bit ahead of the game? Check out what we have to offer you to totally relieve the stress of trying to shop for holiday, right? And here's the deal, guys. We know that holiday this season, people are going to be shopping online at a very, very high level. But they're already in your space, and they already can touch and feel it and smell it and experience it. So why don't we take the time to provide a holiday experience for them? So I want you again to really think again, what do we have available in our space, in my space? What am I asking my guests to consider for their personal needs, but then also the people that they serve, right? So then I can also take a look at it and really signify this specific area over here. If I am able to serve my guests in a way that they have gifts to take home with them today, and that can relieve the holiday shopping pressure, and they can know that everybody loves to get high quality hair care during the holiday season, you know, stuff that they can take with them back to college, stuff that they can take with them to school, right? Back to wherever they came from in terms of family traveling in and traveling out. It's something that they can get excited about over and over and over again, right? Every time they use that shampoo, they'll remember, oh my gosh, My Aunt Judy got me this. I love her. She didn't even know that I needed shampoo, and she got me this awesome gift set. Thank you, Aunt Judy. Love you. Right? It's a gift that keeps giving too. So let's wrap our brains really around that process as we move, further into our holiday season and take advantage of it, right? Any other questions or thoughts specifically around holiday? Anything else I can draw attention to, friends? Provide insight on, or anything from a sales consultant perspective? Anything, guys? Or can we move into this treatment VIP experience world again? Awesome, I will. Don't stop me, guys. Stop me at any time. Don't stop stopping me. That's what I meant to say. When we're getting into something that you want a little more information on. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you again about VIP experiences. When you are getting a service, okay, so based on your knowledge, based on your experience, whether it's as an esthetician, a makeup artist, a nail tech, a superstar salon service provider, maybe you're at the front desk, maybe you just own the place and it's just beating you up right now, right? What about when you get a service? Okay, so I'm going to ask you sales consultants, right? You get to see salons all the time. You get to see estheticians, makeup artists, service providers. What are your expectations now when you go get a service based on all of your wealth, the wealth of your experience, your knowledge, your understanding of our industry on how it works? What are your expectations of a service from the moment you have a conversation to the moment you swipe your credit card and grab your bag of goodies and walk out the space? What are your expectations today? I want somebody to give me a little bit of feedback from that perspective on what your expectations are. And have you shared those expectations with others? So I'm going to pick on somebody. How about Leslie? Do you mind if I pick on you? She does mind.
I don't mind. Sorry, it took me a second to unmute. Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. Especially now I'm talking to you. So tell me, what is your expectation from the moment you walk in? What would you love to experience when you get the chance to take some time for yourself?
So for me, especially these days, safety. I just want that the salon has all that in place and nobody's freaking out. You still walk in and they're happy and they're positive and they're ready to pamper me. I want to be pampered. Even though I'm in the industry, I still pay for my color. I still pay for my haircuts. I still tip. I don't always buy product, but I'll buy add-ons. So I want to be pampered.
Okay. And let me ask you, I love that, Leslie. Thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you specifically, is there one area more so than others that you would consider to be that higher level of pampering? Like what can I, your service provider, offer you that meets that expectation and fairly quickly?
Absolutely. When I'm getting my hair washed, any back bar service for me, because there's nothing like having somebody else wash your hair.
You're so right.
Like I want them to just, and it's usually the newer people, it's usually people in training. But I like somebody that really knows what they're doing at back bar. Yeah. And I appreciate when they offer me like a mask treatment, something special.
Based on what, right? Based on what? Maybe something
my mood. It could even be my mood. Like, especially these days, like offer me something, offer me anything.
Something to get me to think about something else, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Leslie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope nothing but the best for you and in expedient recovery. And so thank you so much for providing that insight, because honestly, you guys, Leslie could not be any more right than she was with those statements. And here's the thing, friends. How many of us often experience that same thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to the shampoo bowl and I'm not sure that I am going to get the scalp massage or the mask or something else that I want. And what do we end up doing, y'all? We end up just kind of hoping for it, right? Or if we got enough guts and maybe we're you know, outspoken enough, maybe you're like me, maybe you're like Leslie, where you're like, yo, listen, get after that scalp of mine, would you? Don't be afraid. Turn up the pressure. You're going to ask for it. But here's the thing, friends. Who should be the one asking? If we're really trying to provide a VIP experience, it's okay to ask where we can do that for somebody. Let's, just like I did with Leslie, if there's one area, Leslie, where I could take your experience to a better level, can you share with me what you're thinking today so I can provide that for you? Now, do you think Leslie is going to tip me any less if I asked her if she wanted it and she said yes, and then I did it and it met her expectations, she loved it? Is she going to tip me less because she had to share that with me? I don't think she will. I know Leslie well enough to know if I give her what she needs, she'll be happy and she'll take care of me. That's how it works, right? So guys, we got an incredible opportunity to slow down, right? To slow down and ask people. Now, my friends, I'm about to give you a signature scalp massage from Sean's Specialty Salon Services. I would like to ask you today, can you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, what pressure level you really love during your scalp massage? Well, I would say I'm somewhere between a 6 and an 8. Wonderful. That's so helpful. I appreciate it. Off you go, right? It can be as simple as that, guys. And if you're like, that's a little bit too cheesy for me, I totally get it. I'm a cheese ball. So you can ask it differently, right? But make sure you're asking people how you can serve them better, right? I want to take you back to a very specific service provider, and that is one that is known in the industry as having the highest level of customer experience or guest experience continuously year after year after year. And what would that business be? Somebody throw out a guess in the chat box. What do you think that company is, or who that company is? No guesses? I'll give you one more second, friends. Come on, somebody throw out a guess out there. All right, I'll tell you. It is the Ritz-Carlton. Year after year after year after year, they are known for delivering exceptional guest service time after time after time after time. And here's the reason why, friends. Their whole vision and mission statement is this. The answer is yes. Now, what is the question? So they are empowered from the moment that you speak to them on the phone to the moment you leave their facilities to find a way, any way, to make sure you have an experience you expected and more. So here's the deal, friends. You really have to give them a bunch of credit because they just ask. They continue to ask and they deliver. My pleasure, my pleasure. They think ahead of the time. Oh my gosh, that person looks like they might be a little thirsty. So they'll just bring you a bottle of water, right? Oh, I didn't ask for that. No, it's okay. It looked as if you might want some water. So I wanted to be able to deliver that for you. Thinking ahead, right? So I want you to think about this for your own self right now in terms of your business. What would it look like this year if your objective during the holiday season was to really provide the highest level of guest satisfaction you ever have before, and that's by being proactive, by considering new opportunities for people, by not allowing previous knowledge or experiences with that same guest affect your current experiences and services. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times do you walk into the place and like, oh, it's Sean. Yeah, it's just Sean. You know where the water is, buddy. Just go ahead and reach in that fridge and grab one if you'd like. Anyway, listen, I'm going to start mixing your color because it's the same as last time, right? And I want you just to, why don't you just go head back and shampoo yourself? You know, use the purple stuff. You need it, right? What we end up doing, guys, is we end up treating the people that we actually love the most with the least amount of guest service. Oh, that's just Mary. She's been here 100 times. She knows what's going to happen today. No, she shouldn't know what's going to happen today. Today, I'm going to offer her the Awakened Scalp Facial. I've never offered it to her before. Why am I going to offer to it? Because I just had it myself and it was amazing. And I remembered how good that service felt. And I want Mary to experience it. And you know what? If she rebooks her next 2 appointments today, I'm going to give that Awakened Scalp Facial to her complimentary. I'm going to remind her that the value of this service is whatever, $45, but I'm going to give it to her complimentary today because, you know, I just think she's fantastic and she's prepared by having her next 2 services pre-booked. I think everybody should benefit from that. Boom. You've opened up an area of opportunity for everyone, not only yourself, not only your business, not only the people around you, but also that guest to experience something different in today's world, right? It feels like people are getting nastier to each other, right? They have a shorter forgiveness rate. They have less attention span to listen or to understand. They're very opinionated and they're going to tell you either out loud or on their social media. And we have the opportunity to kind of take it in a different direction and say, you know what, I'm here to serve you today. I want you to have an unbelievable, relaxing opportunity to just melt, right? Let the troubles of this whole world and where you're going to vote drift away for just a couple of hours and let me take care of you. Guys, and I'm telling you, if you surround your mind with these types of thoughts on how you can shift the paradigm a little bit, change the parallels so that it's more equal, you're going to have a better experience yourself. And you all deserve that, right? After all we've been through over the last 6-9 months, friends, together or separately, I don't know about you guys, but I think we deserve it. So when, just like Leslie said, when you are considering your own specific services and treatments, what would you want for that experience? Ask yourself then, are you consistently providing that to every guest that's on your book right now? And if not, it's okay, right? We're only ready to learn sometimes what we're ready to learn. We're only ready to adjust when we're ready to adjust. I think now is the time for us to adjust, to look at these opportunities. We've been talking about holiday. We've been talking about VIP experiences. Now I want you to ask yourself this. How do you feel? How do you feel right now? Does anybody feel overwhelmed, anxious, scared, worried, uncertain, you know, all of those things maybe at the same exact moment? And I don't mean to be, you know, I don't mean to make light of it, right? I see Lily saying she feels excited, and I agree. We have such an incredible opportunity, guys. And listen, it's not just about everybody else. It's also about you. I'm telling you, when you feel your best, you provide your best experiences. People can tell when you're faking it or pushing through it, right? You ever get that guest who sits in your chair and they're like, okay, seriously, tell me what's going on. I can see it in your face, right? We all have that. We have that. We have people say to us all the time, something's off. What's going on? You're like, no, seriously, it's nothing. That's not true. It's something, right? So what can we do, you guys, to really pay attention to who we are with, those guests that we're with when we feel our best, and be able to consider how we can serve them at a higher level, right? I'm not asking you to charge them less. I've never once asking you to charge them less. You need to charge them exactly what the value of your service is always, okay? But make sure you're doing all this on purpose, you guys. How many of you need to raise your prices? Be honest. How many of you need to know when to raise your prices? I see Shayna there. We desperately do. I love that statement. Most of the time, friends, the price adjustments come too little and too far in between, right? But listen, you need to be able to justify why those prices are increasing, right? And not just chalk it up to, if I'm being transparent here, don't chalk it up to, well, everything else is going up, so should I. I'm not saying that isn't true. I'm just saying you never have to apologize for price adjustments and increases in services if the value demands it, if your business demands it. I had a great conversation the other day, friends, with a wonderful hairdresser, super talented, unbelievable business. And quite honestly, she was trying to find a way to slow down a little bit. Like, she was overwhelmed, stressed out, working way too hard, was almost making herself sick. And, you know, all of us know somebody who's been in that ballpark before, right? And usually, yes, the reason they haven't increased their prices is because they care too much, right? They're like, I'm nervous that my guests will be mad or they'll go somewhere else. And I just want to share with you that overall in our business, friends, if the value of the experience increases and they can see that you have made a tremendous amount of effort to increase the value or adjust the experience accordingly, they're usually surprised that you hadn't done it sooner. Right? Like, listen, nobody gets better at what they do, right? Somebody who paints houses, somebody who builds houses, somebody who does interior decoration, guys, work with me on this, right? Nobody who does those things and does them better and better and better and gets more referrals and gets busier and busier, none of them end up charging less, right? And here's the thing, that conversation that I had with that wonderful, brilliant person, that beautiful hairdresser, was the ability to take the business away from the emotion. So can you separate the two of them for a moment and say, what is my business telling me? And if your business is telling me based on profitability, based on demand on your services and your time, right? If the business is telling you that you have such a high demand on your services and such a high demand on your time that you are 80% pre-booked or 80% productive for 3 months or more, your business is trying to tell you it's time to raise your prices. Now, at what percentage? Well, Surface recommends that if your haircut, it's based on the cost of your haircuts. So if your haircut, if you're an individual stylist, let's just use this as an example, and you can use it as a nail tech or an esthetician as well. It's based on the time that you charge, the cost of the time that you charge, right? And the demand on your services. So if your haircut is less than $50, we recommend you raise your prices by 10%. Okay, so let's say it's a $30 haircut. Your prices would go up by $3, just to keep it simple, right? And that is based, again, on 80% productivity, meaning when you are actually at your business, 80% of your time at your business is actually doing service. So it's not, well, I'm there for 8 hours. Well, how many of those 8 hours were you actually serving guests? Well, 4. Okay, now you're 50% productive, friends. That's a 50% productivity rate. So when you are at 80% productivity, meaning the demand on your business is that high, and you're pre-booked at 80%, meaning the people just keep coming and they're service after service after service, so much time, so much that I don't even have time to have a lunch break, right? That's when your business is telling you, separated from emotion, that you need to raise your prices based on demand. So then bring your emotion back in, right? And realize that you deserve this. Your business is demanding it. And you do not need to apologize for effectively adjusting your prices based on the demand of your services. So I want you to really consider that, friends, right? And then if you still have that emotion that's wrapped up in there, do what we recommend, and that is this. For that first service after the prices increase, offer to your guests, ready for this? I'm going to go back to it right now. Offer to your guests a complimentary treatment of their choice for that next service. So here, yes, I understand the next service will be based on the new pricing structure, but I want you to please choose one of your treatments of choice, and we're going to provide that for you complimentary at your next service. Can't wait to be able to give you that added value. Boom, right? And guys, listen, the number of your guests that are going to say to you, there's no way in hell I'm paying you an extra $1 for all this time that you spend with me. Maybe they're telling you that they're ready for a new service provider, and you're giving them the opportunity. Finally, you're releasing them to go experience another hairdresser because you simply aren't the service provider for them anymore, whether it's skin or nails or something else, right? You have grown, friends. You have continued your education. You're always looking for new ways to serve others. You're continuing to spend money in your business to create a better business. And if they don't appreciate any of that, and it's simply a matter of $1 or $2, that they just don't want to invest in you or your business anymore, that's okay. Don't take it personally. It's not you that we're talking about in that scenario. It's them. And you have to be able to willingly release them to find a new service provider so that you can create space for the ones who are looking for you, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm always looking for excellence, whether it's hair care, skin care, whether it's, vehicle service, whether it's food, whether it's, coaching for my kids, whether it's coaching for myself, friendships. I'm always looking for excellence in all of these areas. So why shouldn't you look for excellence within your business? I think you should. You should look for excellent guests that you love giving VIP experiences to. And again, guys, how do you feel, right? Do you feel better when you know you're getting the value of your services returned to you and more? You are able to give your guests all of that because you have less pressure on your shoulders, less weight that you're carrying? I believe so. And if you're still looking, friends, for ways to justify yourself, then focus on this slide right here and realize that less people in your chair means more time for the people who are in your chair. More, less is more, right? I can give them more. I can offer them more. I can talk to them more. I can serve them more. It is a new world. Let's not forget it. It's not going to change like that once the votes come in, friends. We're looking at a consistent change for an extended period of time. So let's ask ourselves, how are we adjusting to it? How are we looking to grow? How are we looking to be our better version through this process, right? And interactive services and styling, whether you're an esthetician, a nail artist, a makeup extraordinaire, a hairdresser, a colorist, of whatever we're doing in this lovely beauty industry, get your guests involved. So many times, you friends, I get the opportunity to sit. And again, it hasn't been for a significant period of time. I'll grant you that. But before COVID, I had the opportunity to sit in so many waiting rooms and listen and feel the energy and excitement of what's happening within a salon and hear the conversations and the interaction. And I just have to tell you that I feel there is a great deal of available opportunity to involve the guests at a much higher level. So many times I see people, stylists, estheticians, service providers, I see them doing services to people. I want you to hear those words very heavily, right? Doing services to people. And what I think we have the real opportunity to wrap our brains around right now is providing services with and for people. Yeah, we're the experts. We're not asking them to cut an inverted bob. That's all on you, sister. That's your job. That's my job. That's the service provider's job to provide the inverted bob or whatever it is, the lob, right? Or the new, whatever the new thing is. But here's the deal. Can we get them more involved in the process? And even if it's just from an awareness standpoint, why don't we actively communicate what we are doing with them so that they can really understand the value of why they would want to take care of it better? So, you know, I want to go back to what Leslie shared with us, right? She wants to be pampered. Okay, I can appreciate that, Leslie, right? You want to be pampered. So what does that pampering look like? Well, Leslie shared with us, right? She's like, I want that shampoo to be, I don't want you to rush through the shampoo process, please. If you could have just told me to wash my hair before I came in, right? If that's what it was going to be about. I want that to be an experience. And so what are we doing to create that experience? And how are we involving Leslie in it? Right? And in my mind, if I'm telling her what we're using, and Kim hit the nail on the head. Kim's talking about blowout. Well, I want to know why this blowout stuff is freaking $40 a bottle. It better be good. Well, I can promise you it is. But beyond that, why don't you take the time in the service to really walk through what blowout is and why it's the right choice for that guest? See, I'm washing your hair with the blowout shampoo today, friends. And the reason we chose the blowout shampoo is because we're really looking to start to build that style and heat memory protection into the hair all the way from the shampoo to the end of the styling portion. And so what's happening is babassu oil, cannabis sativa seed oil are delivering moisture all the way into all 3 layers of the hair so that you can know you're going to have lasting heat memory and style memory for as long as possible. All of a sudden, I have a much better idea of what this stuff I'm smelling is, right? I've decided to create an interactive experience with my guests from the conversation, consultation, into the shampoo experience, as Leslie is asking for. And then every time I introduce a new product or tool or service to my guest, they have the opportunity to become aware of why it is being chosen and what they can experience and do with it at home. So there's a lot, guys. there's a lot of exciting things, as Lily is sharing with us, right? There's a lot of things we should be excited about, because our opportunities have never been better for us to focus from a guest satisfaction and interaction standpoint. Never been better. And we can either look at ways to recover cost. So hear me out. And I'm not saying either one of them is wrong, but we have a choice. We can either look for ways to recover cost, or we can look for ways to add increasing levels of value enough that justifies a higher level of commitment from the people we serve, and happily to do so, right? Because the value is there. It's obvious. The experience is there. It's obvious. I can feel it. It's not just said, it's actually done. And that's where the opportunity really arises for us, if you're asking me, which maybe you're not. And then again, guys, I really want to touch on, the social media aspect again, as really being specifically a vision and a mission. And I want to slow you down on that and say, you really need to know where you're wanting to go long term, right? What is my target? Is my target to have a social media platform that is scheduled and allows me to post at the right times automatically with my scheduling devices, that I can spend maybe a day a month or maybe 2 days a month building all of my social media content, stealing it from one place or another, like Surface's page, right? You can go right to Surface's page and steal 3 or 4 posts, and then you bring them over to your sharing app, your planning app. We use Planoly at Surface, Planoly. I'm going to type it in our chat box, guys. Planoly is an app for social media scheduling. The best part about it, guys, is once you put your content in your calendar, it will auto post it for you at your selected times on your selected days, and you can just continue going about doing your business, which you're so good at. So let's allow our social media vision and our structured targeted goal to set us up for success, right? So if my long-term vision is a planned and pre-scheduled content of assets that will be shared onto my social media platform for me while I'm sleeping or cooking or hanging out with my family, and all I need to do is spend a day or 2 a month getting all this content situated, and then boom, the rest of it is done for me. I would suggest that it is time well spent, and your long-term goal has now been achieved, and you did it by taking the time right now to set that structure up. Social media doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be a time suck for you either, right? I don't know about you guys, but there are too many times where I'm caught just doing this, and I have to ask myself, is this serving your business? Is this serving your business? Or is it a place for you to disappear for an hour at a time and just not know where you went? I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying maybe a combination of the both, right? So I think I've shared that message, pretty extensively, guys. I'm going to go back to this slide for you again. Anything else I can bring to attention on any one of those segments that would really be helpful for you today? I don't want to assume that I know what would help you the most. I want to, assume that you are willing to share with me areas that I could bring more value to you. So I'm seeing Amy Braddock post on here. If anyone needs some content assets to post, let me know, and I can share contents as needed with you. So again, guys, the Surface family, Amy Braddock, who is our brand manager, our salon growth manager, you know, for Surface in the New York upstate marketplace. Oh my gosh, she is just fantastic. And the more time you spend with her, the more you'll realize that. And all she wants to do, friends, is to help you with specific areas of your business, to help you grow, to take some of the challenge away from you, and to provide you with opportunity to meet and exceed all the expectations around you. So let Amy do work with you. Let Amy do work for you. And together, you guys will be a much better team. That's for dang sure. So, Amy, I want to thank you for providing information. Kim, Leslie, any of our sales consultants on here now, is there anything else that I can, you know, bring further attention to for you and your teams to make sure everybody, you know, has a great understanding of opportunity in front of them? Anything, friends? Go ahead and unmute yourselves or post it in the chat box. All I want to do is help y'all. And if not, my mom always told me you're better off being early than you are being late. So I wanted to share this information with you guys, and I didn't want to hold you back all day if you know, if you had some stuff to do. So let me ask you, Natalie, anything else that I can do for you guys, or what's the next steps, or should we say goodbye and let these lovely folks on their way?
I don't think so, unless Amy Braddock has anything that she wants to add, but that was great.
Yeah. Awesome. Amy, anything you want me to address or add to it? I'm happy to do so. You can even type it in the chat box if that serves you better now. Leslie says, keep posting awesome posts on Facebook. Motivate. I agree, y'all. I think all of us can utilize some encouragement, right? And so I will also do my best to increase my social media presence, even though sometimes it's challenging, right? So what's my plan look like? What does my plan look like to be consistent in sharing messages? You know, we all can learn from that. So guys, I just want to thank you. I want to thank Goldwell New York, obviously, Natalie for putting all this together, Amy and the team, and inviting me. Hopefully the information I shared with you guys today and for you guys was something that you found useful. And I'm hoping that if there's anything else, you'll come and find me on social media and ask me. Call me, text me, email me, get a hold of Amy, Natalie, and y'all will chase me down, and I'll be of service to you. In the meantime, hope you guys are safe and continually growing. And I thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Pleasure, friends. I'll stop sharing and I will say goodbye. Thanks again, everybody. Be safe out there, and many blessings to all of you during these holiday seasons. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Sean.